From Challenge of Exile, this is Challenge 3 of 7. It is entitled Pandora on Fire. Pandora is in the cage that will descend into the fire, and if the cage descends all the way to the ground where the fire is, she will die and you will fail. So at the beginning, I like to equip the Nemean Cestus because of the shield guys. At various intervals, there will be a shield guy on either side of the fire. The fire itself is really good to use because if you stand next to it and enemies come over to you, the enemies will take damage, and you can increase how much damage you're putting on them by combining that with your regular attacks. And then the beautiful thing is you don't take any damage from it. So your weapons are all maxed out here, except for the boots. The boots of Hermes, for some reason, are at level 1. But as you accumulate orbs here, you can, if you want to, get that up to max. But I don't think that would be anything vital or necessary to anybody. But who knows? Anyway, as you kill enemies, though, you will get a reprieve from her descent, meaning that killing an enemy will raise the cage a little bit and give you more time. So it's a way of offsetting what's happening, and it's not completely out of your hands, which is good because there will be some enemies that are pretty much fodder enemies. Anything like a harpy or a sentinel. The legionnaires can't be grabbed instantly unless you get the circle over them. But there are shield sentinels and shield legionnaires. The former, once their shield is broken, you can just grab them and rend them. I would do that, actually. Or you can go for the collision damage by ramming them into others. But as you do this, you want to always prioritize the more elite enemy. So at the beginning, we prioritize the shield enemy because, with him around, you have to have the fists on. So that took care of him, right? And then as you progress, you're going to have wraiths. Wraiths are the next spawn. So the wraiths aren't that big of a deal, actually. It so happens that if you kill too many of the other enemies, you'll get wraiths, for instance, with sirens. And if you're not killing the elite groups, you're going to have too much to handle because there will be too many elite enemies that you'll have to deal with. And the most problematic thing about an elite enemy is just that it takes a little while to kill, especially the siren. They have a lot of HP. You have to really be careful for that first phase where you can grab them, because he does an animation where, the one where he slams their head into the ground several times and then throws them. Well, that's a pretty lengthy animation. You want to try to avoid that if possible, but it's hard to know what phase they're in, especially with so much chaos going on over here. And also the fact that there is usually more than one siren on the screen. I think there's 4 sirens in total. They might all spawn at the same time, I'm not sure. You'll have to review the footage for that, but once the harpies come, I like to get on those guys, but I like to leave a couple guys kicking around. Remember what I said? Leave some lesser enemies kicking around. A harpy is good because in a closed situation where the cage is almost into the fire, you can quickly kill an enemy that can just be grabbed and killed fast for some easy reprieve. And then once you have done all the sirens, you're going to be facing a Cyclops one at a time, and there's 2 of them. So you don't want to do his quick time events because they take forever. But I just use the fists, and you can also use the rage if you wanted to. The reason I didn't use the rage out of vanity or anything like that, it was just because this is a difficult trial, and if people see me not using the rage, then that can give them some inspiration that, hey, if they need a little bit of a backup, they can use the rage, so they don't have to, worry that they have nothing that they can pull out of the woodwork for themselves. But Pandora on Fire, it can be difficult, it really can, but you have a lot of I mean, you've got pretty much everything powered up, so you have access to all the moves, and the strengths of everything you have are at max. So as long as you don't get too kowtowed by your emotions, and try to keep level-headed as much as you possible and assess threats logically and efficiently, it should be a good deal for you, and she won't get on fire. So that is the third trial. I will see you then in the fourth, and until then, please take care.